1. Anyone else ever have the senses of being in two places at once? I did when I was 16. I was on the phone with my sister when I suddenly had the very distinct feeling of water up to the top of my shins, hard and rough rock beneath my feet, and a cold breeze on naked flesh. That and the stunning view of a tunnel tall enough to probably fit half or a quarter of Mount Everest. Again, judged by sight alone. Dark grey rock and fog everywhere. It was pretty fucking neato, up until I heard the skittering of claws on rock. Above me I saw an albino ape, much like a silverback, looking around. Now the tunnel was dark, but not pitch black. So this thing sees me and we stare each other down for a minute, or what feels like one. Side note, I hadn't moved since it appeared, as I didn't know what might come, before I feel more than hear something behind me. Mr. or Mrs., I'm no zoologist, ape flees at top stealthy speeds, and I whip around to see the biggest fucking pastel rainbow, blue, green, pink, crab I've ever seen. Somewhere around 6 to 9 stories tall. I am not good at judging height. And 45 feet wide. A big RV long. This fucker is 1, silent, and 2, giving me the feeling that I'm going to die. Just thinking about it makes me shake. Cue fast snippy claw, and even faster. Cue a skin of liquid light, deep yellow and gold, shined upon the surrounding 400 feet, maybe. On my skin, appearing from in my skin, and then piercing crabbo in every single joint and needle-thin spears still stuck to the water light on me. Side note, even my legs went warm, and they were in the water, so I think it repelled the existing water. Crabbo freezes, and I get the very distinct feeling that it cannot die, just gets stuck. Everything fades, and then I'm suddenly unaware of all senses but distance, sight, and feeling. Not touch, but like feeling inside my body. It was weird. Anyways, I see a craft. Then it switched to deep space with a shadow covering stars in a weird way, like a spaceship was there, with a sort of non-shiny metal cockpit, connected to what I felt was a ship that could easily fit an 8-kilometer wide city or town in it, flat, probably a third of that tall. 2 parts jutted out of the front side edges, think a square missing a side with rounded corners. Again, but all the metal part was pitch black or invisible and shrouded. Nothing was visible through it, behind it either, and it felt ominous, like it was coming towards Earth at the time. It's been 6 years now, and I still don't know what to make of it. Oh, and one final note, my other normal body senses worked fine at the time, and I was double-tasking by telling my sister everything as it happened. She confirmed later that I sounded terrified, then awestruck, then scared and excited-ish. I was also counting my fingers, checking the room, etc., testing to see if I was really in 2 bodies and minds. At no point did it feel like I was just hallucinating, but I don't know. Thoughts? 2. So this happened sometime in January on my way home from work. I always walk the same path home, and it includes walking on a road with a sidewalk on both sides. The right side has apartment buildings, parking spots, and a wider sidewalk. The left sidewalk is more narrow and has small metal pillars on the edge of the sidewalk to prevent parking. There are also trees planted, say, every 4 meters on the side, farther from the street, about 13 feet, that aren't wide enough for a bigger person to hide behind. The branches of the trees start way up, higher than a person can reach. Next to the trees is planted a line of bushes, not more than 1 meter high. Beside that is a steep hill down and a small river. Being winter, all of the trees and the bushes were without leaves, so there was no place a person could hide. I'm describing this so you can paint an approximate picture of how impossible it would be for someone to walk away a different direction without me noticing. So this is what happened. I was walking home down this side of the sidewalk, with the trees planted and the river down on the left. This road isn't too long. Maybe it takes a minute to reach the end. When you come to an intersection, when I was about halfway there, I notice a big guy carrying a plastic bag, starting to walk in normal pace towards me on the same side of the street. As it was dark already, I work afternoon shifts. I think to myself, maybe I should cross the road. I decide that it's probably fine. It's a narrow road, 2 cars can barely pass with very few traffic, so I could just cross over anytime I felt like it. Right after that, I see him step to the right, his right, so away from the street behind a tree, which was weird because you can't pass the tree on that side. And I think to myself, what the fuck is he doing? Is he trying to scare or attack me? But I remember that there's also a bench there, or maybe he's taking a piss. So I keep walking towards that tree, keeping an eye because I'm expecting to see him doing God knows what, and making myself ready to react if needed. So I come up to that tree, and no one is there. He's gone. He couldn't have jumped or fallen in the river because I would have heard his plastic bag rustling on the bushes. Remember, there's hardly any traffic on this road, so there's not a lot of sound in the environment. Or I would have heard a splash of him falling into the river. The fall is too deep to not make a splash. I looked into the river, very slow current, to see if there's anyone in it just in case, but no one was there. He didn't cross the road as I would have seen him. He just vanished. So I went home and kept track of the news for a few weeks, expecting to see if someone drowned or was rescued from the river, or somebody washed up somewhere, but nothing. I have no idea where he went. I still walk down that sidewalk frequently, and I always wonder what happened. One thing I noticed that might not have been there, or I just didn't notice before. All of these metal pillars are painted black except for the one beside this tree that he vanished behind, which is painted red. Crazy theory time. If there's a hidden portal to wherever behind that tree, that guy looked so ordinary that it would have made a perfect disguise. Who would suspect a homeless-looking guy with a plastic bag being a time traveler or the like? Maybe he switched realities, or maybe I did, or maybe the red pillar is the sign for a passage to somewhere. I don't know. 3. I listen to stories on YouTube all the time, and I found a fondness for those who experience glitches in reality or glitches in the Matrix. This story did not directly happen to me, but rather someone very close to me. My dog, who we will refer to as Glitch Dog. It was a normal day a few months ago, and I was just walking around the house, cleaning. I had walked through the living room and saw my dog laying on the couch, fast asleep. I thought I'd try not to disturb him, as I still had a lot of cleaning to do. About 30 minutes later, I was done cleaning and looking around the house for Glitch Dog, but I couldn't find him. My house isn't very large, and I looked in every room, in every place he'd sneak away to, but I couldn't find him. I was walking through the kitchen, still looking, when I turned my head to see that Glitch Dog was outside. Now let me explain to you why this is impossible. There are 2 doors leading to the outside, the main door entering into a back porch, and another door leading to the backyard. I stared in shock at Glitch Dog, who was resting against the outer door because I noticed both doors were not only closed, but they were locked. There are no doggy doors leading to the outside, and I was home alone that day, so none of the other doors leading outside were unlocked, to where he could possibly have pushed them open and gone outside. I've thought about it a lot, and meant to tell this story before, but I hadn't gotten around to it until today, when it happened again. I had gone out for lunch, leaving Glitch Dog in the bathroom with the door shut and secured, so there was no possible way he could have gotten out. When I returned, the door was wide open, with Glitch Dog sitting in the doorway, patiently awaiting my return. There was no one else inside the house, and none of my family members came home to let him out. I will try to come up with a more rational explanation, but I don't understand how this is possible. Any rational ideas? Or is my dog stumbling into different dimensions when I'm not looking? 4. I work for a financial institute, and I have recently been transferred to a new office for about 2 months by now. Currently there are 3 other co-workers who come every day, Kate, Mark, and Mandy, and 5 sales personnel who don't come every day due to their work nature. Kate and I sit at the very front of the office. Everyone who comes in will see us. We do have another door, but that is for emergency use only, and is not openable from the outside. This is relevant. On Tuesday, while it was slow in the morning, Kate and I were going through our filing. One of the salespersons, Vicky, came in. She greeted Kate and I good morning and sat at her desk and started working. About 40 minutes later, she walked out and said, "Okay, girls, I will see you 2 on Thursday." We said goodbye, and carried on our conversation. Like 20 minutes later, the filing was all completed. I went to the restroom, and I would pass by Vicky's desk. I saw her sitting right in front of her desk, and then I said, "Oh, you came back. I didn't notice when you walked in." Vicky said, "Yes, you did. I said good morning and you said back." Me, "Yes, I remembered that, but didn't you walk out and said see you on Thursday?" Vicky, "What do you mean I didn't walk out?" I mean, I was going to say that when I'm ready to leave. I went back to Kate. "Did you hear Vicky say goodbye and say she will be back on Thursday?" Kate, "Yes, why?" Me, "Did you see her walking back in?" Kate, "No." While speaking, she looked back and saw Vicky sitting there. Me, "So you saw her walk out and say goodbye too, right? And you did not see her come back, right?" Kate looked so confused and said, "Yes." I walked back to Vicky. "Are you sure you didn't leave and come back?" Vicky, "Yes, dear, but I am leaving now. And I will see you guys on Thursday." So Kate and I both made a mistake. Forward to yesterday, Wednesday. Mark and Mandy usually always park right in front of our office, with Kate and I pretty much watching their cars all day. Yesterday, as usual, Mark parked right in front of our office. Later on his lunch break, he walked out. Kate and I still do our thing, and from time to time, we stare at his car. The thing I clearly remember is, while Mark was gone, Kate and I talked about his car. Kate mentioned something about his windshield reflecting the sunlight and is very annoying every afternoon. When Mark came back, he said that he took a bit longer because he went to the local DMV. Me, "There's a DMV around?" Mark, "Yes, in P-Town." Me, "Oh, that's quite a walk then. But it only took you 30 minutes, and there is no line?" Mark, "Oh no, it was a long line, and I would not walk." Me, "Wait, you drove?" Mark, "Yes." Me, "Just now, you drove back?" Mark, "Yeah, I would not walk to P-Town, I'm not crazy." Me, pointing at his car, "This is your car, right?" Mark, "Yes." I look at Kate. "Was this car here the whole time?" Kate is here while the conversation occurred, and she already looked confused. "Yes, we even talked about your car. This very particular car. It did not move an inch the whole time." Mark was all laughing and said something like Kate and I didn't pay attention and perhaps someone else's car was parked here for a while. But that would mean Kate and I both missed that his car moved away. And when we both didn't pay attention, a different car that looked exactly the same moved in. And again, we did not notice that a car moved away, and Mark's car moved back. So I guess kind of glitchy things do happen to me. Or else Kate and I are both delusional. 5. This incident happened on November 2016. But before that, I'd like to tell you that my dad died on November 11th, 2006. So during the time of that incident, he was dead for 10 years. You see, we have a landline phone, and in order to place a long-distance call, you will need to call the operator and give them your name and number you want to reach. I don't understand why Mom still keeps using that landline, considering we already have cell phones. Anyway, January 2017 came, and we received the telephone bill for November to December. My mom was shocked to find my dad's name in there. His name, the time of call, and the number he called. The date of the call was November 30th, 2016 at around 2 p.m. The call lasted for 5 minutes. There's no way someone could have used the phone that time because we were all out that day. We went to the mall to do some early Christmas shopping, and we got home at around 8 p.m. We checked the number that he called, and it was the catering service my mom was planning to call to serve us on Christmas. She said that she hadn't called the caterer until December 1st, which was also listed on the bill. That was strange because it was impossible that my dad placed a call because he was dead for 10 years. My theory is that in another reality my dad didn't die and he called the catering service that time. His call apparently slipped through to our reality, and that's the reason it appeared on our bill. That's the only explanation I can find. Finally, my mom decided to get rid of our landline phone after that incident. So what do you think happened? 6. 3 days ago, my buddy Landon messaged me and asked if I wanted to hang out after he got off work at 3:15. He's my best friend since 4th grade, so the answer is always, hell yeah. Around 2 p.m., I started having some serious pains in my left side. By 4, I knew I had a kidney stone. So I messaged Landon to let him know that hanging out, unfortunately, was now him taking me to the hospital, and he agreed to help out. I don't know if you've ever had a kidney stone, but it's horrible. You can't do much of anything but wince in pain. As I waited for Landon, I set my cigarettes and lighter down on the nightstand beside my bed. It was a blue lighter. I seem to get a blue lighter every time I buy one. Even though I always tell the cashier wherever I am I don't care what color they give me. Anyway, Landon pulled up a few minutes later. I reached over to get my smokes and my lighter, but the lighter was gone. I searched for the lighter for a few moments before saying, "Fuck it." The next day at the hospital, I texted my aunt to ask her to bring my grandma to see me, and asked her to grab a lighter for me. She brought me a blue lighter. I kept the sticker on it. I don't know why, I never do. I guess I was just in too much pain to even bother with little pet peeves. Fast forward to about an hour ago when I got home. I walked upstairs to my room to get one of my PlayStation controllers, when I remembered the lighter I lost up there before I left 3 days ago. In much better shape now, I searched everywhere for it. I didn't find it after a few minutes of vigorous search, so again I said, fuck it. As I was headed back downstairs, I reached into my pocket to grab my phone, and I froze in confusion. There were 2 lighters in my pocket. I pulled them out. There was the new blue lighter my aunt got me sticker still on it, and another blue lighter with no sticker. This may not sound like a big deal, but I knew that during my time in the hospital, I only had the lighter my aunt brought me. I mean, I had to wait for her before I could go out to smoke because I didn't bring mine. I just tore apart my bedroom looking for the lighter I lost, but still couldn't find it. But now here it was in my hand next to the new lighter. I have no idea what to make of this, but I knew this kind of story would fit here. Thanks for listening. 7. A few days ago I had lost the newest pocket knife my dad gave me. It had the superhero symbol for the Punisher on the front of it. I remember we went to the store and my dad told me to bring it for protection. Let me add that we live in East Austin, and it's cool, but there's crazy people and nice people here. Anyways, I bring it, we shop, and I come back and take it out of my pocket and throw it on a little table that a lamp sits on. We have a Friday fun day where we eat and watch the newest movie we get. It was a strange movie. It's one of those crazy movies you don't really see much of. So we go to bed, and I see the knife on the table and I think I will pick it up tomorrow. So the next morning my dad asked me if I could let him see the knife, and I know that I can't find it, and I say okay. I just cleaned my room, and I destroyed it looking for the knife. My dad said never mind in an upset tone. Note, I have a shelf that my TV and all my old toys sit on. I'm now 15 and too old to play with toys, but still keep them for the memories, and they're cool. That was the first time I messed that shelf up looking for the knife. I clearly looked up and down for it, but could not find the knife. I prayed because I'm a Christian, and that's what my grandma did to find money she lost. 2 days later I found it on the shelf right in front of me. I clearly looked up and down for it. This creeps me out a lot, but I mean the only thing I can think of is God put it there. This creeps me out. It was right in front of my face. How could I miss it? I've seen lots of glitches in my life, but this just happened. Hey everybody, Hellfreezer here, and thank you very much for listening to 7 true Glitch in the Matrix stories. Can't remember if I've done 7 before or not. If I have, let me know and I'll put a 2 in the title, just to make sure they're easy to differentiate from each other. But I had a bit of a hard time pulling a glitch video together this week, but I had lots of shorter ones, so I just put them together, and we have 7 stories instead of the usual 5, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, not related to anything, but does anyone know what the longest hashtag ever is, like on Twitter? Because I just made one that was hashtag not spawn, but would totally be down for that, in relation to somebody talking about my Red Bull consumption. And shockingly, I was the only person using that one. I was blown away. I thought it would be quite a common thing, but anyway. So that got me thinking, what is the longest one ever? Answers on a belligerent squirrel, and send them to your local MP. Also, apparently it's football/soccer season again. I don't really follow that sort of thing, so they tend to sneak up on me. Apparently England's doing something that involves them coming home. reasonably sure they never left, but, well, okay. Anyway, I'm heading off for now, so until next time, thank you very much for listening, and take very good care of yourselves.